Hi. Today, I'll guide you through the simple process of configuring the virtual agent within PeopleReign. The main goal here is to demonstrate that you don't need to have advanced technical skills to set up and manage this application. All you need is a good understanding of your company's business processes. What you're seeing here is the admin hub. This is essentially the command center where everything happens. Here you'll find tools for the virtual agent, intents, and action scripts. These three components form what we call the workflow. To break it down, virtual agent tools are essentially integration blocks. They're the key elements you use to create experiences that involve knowledge management or taking actions. For example, you might want to retrieve information from the ServiceNow knowledge base or gather articles from your SharePoint content management system. In this demo instance, you'll see we have multiple tools available, such as those that can pull information from Zendesk or a Freshworks KB. We also offer tools that can integrate with services like Wikipedia. The list of available applications with out-of-the-box integrations is continually expanding. Currently, we have integrations with Confluence and Microsoft Groups. They make it simple to integrate with back-end ticketing systems like Salesforce, ServiceNow, Zendesk, and others. To give you a quick overview, each stage of the process has helpful tooltips that make configuration very easy. The system is quite intuitive. When you first dive in, the IT will guide you on how to construct an input for the tool. One particularly useful part of this configuration is the ability to set up guardrails. In this case, you can set restrictions so that an end user can't perform certain actions. For instance, a regular employee who isn't a hiring manager shouldn't be able to access peer information. When designing interactions, you can decide whether it will be about surfacing information or taking action, like filing a PTO request. Instead of simply instructing users, if you've configured it with back-end systems like Workday or other HRMS platforms, the virtual agent can act on their behalf to file PTO requests or even handle approvals. Which brings us to the concept of intents. Intents are used to design the end user's experience. It can be a straightforward question and answer session or a multi-turn conversation where you present the user with multiple answers that influence the flow. In another video, I showed an example of an employee ordering a laptop. That's a perfect illustration of an intent, where options are presented, and based on the user's responses, the interaction is tailored to provide a personalized experience. Let me show you a simple intent example. Here, we have someone wanting a Windows laptop. You name the intent, and each intent includes a default reply, which triggers when the intent is executed unless you choose to use an action script. Everything in PeopleReign is about surfacing information or executing actions. For instance, you might check for laptop eligibility. To see how the flow works, just click on the arrow to view the configured reply. Replies don't have to be just Q&A. They can be more interactive. You give a response, but the actual outcome is based on subsequent user inputs, which we call linked intents. Once users see the response, they can choose options like, "Help desk couldn't fix my laptop," or "I'm not sure." In essence, using a combination of tools, intents, and replies allows you to craft a compelling experience. If you need to write code for an action, you can do that too, like logging an issue or creating an order. The code you write is straightforward and easy to understand. Let me also introduce you to the concept of secrets and variables. This is where you securely store things like ServiceNow passwords when configuring a tool. Similarly, for Zendesk or developer tokens, you store them here. Whenever you have settings to show, whether through an HTML interface, Slack, or Teams, you can select their status as online or offline. Finally, I'd like to discuss forms, as they are crucial in design. Creating forms in PeopleReign is very straightforward. You simply decide if there's a downstream intent. As I mentioned, intents are the building blocks here. When a user submits a form, you set up what intent executes. It's as easy as deciding what happens after submission, and that's how we configure it in a form. Designing the form is just drag and drop. You can add variable names, change labels, and have a fully functional form in no time. Let's return to the tools for a live example. In this example, we've set up tools for handling ServiceNow tickets. The tool is active and can list incidents and cases, as well as provide detailed information about specific ones. Now, I'll demonstrate by using a Slack channel. Without any prior information, I'll ask my PeopleReign agent for my most recent incident. Once requested, it retrieves and displays the most recent submission based on timing. While the agent processes the request, it keeps the user updated with prompts like, "Almost there." Soon, it shows that my most recent request is about an ergonomic chair due to a bad back. In summary, configuring such an experience takes roughly 10 to 15 minutes from start to finish. You simply navigate to the tools, select what you want to configure, and decide if it's for action or information. For example, if I choose ServiceNow for handling tickets, the UI adapts to show exactly what's needed for integration. Without this setup, you'd likely need to hire a developer to create an API-based integration, which involves costs for consulting or buying ETL or iPaaS technologies like MuleSoft. You'd also need to maintain these integrations as things evolve. But with our tools, it's much easier for business analysts or citizen developers to create these powerful experiences. Thank you.